Well, I've got 12 o'clock. Why don't we get rolling? Going to call the meeting to order. We'll start with roll call. And Frank, you want to start down on your end? We'll work our way around. Way down there on the end.
Road Commission, right, Ottawa County, Frank Garcia.
Mike Sabatino, Port Sheldon Township, and welcome.
Thank you.
Steve Spoolhoff, Park Township.
John Helmrich, a guest today. I'm on the Township Board of Saugatuck Township.
Stephen Ringelberg, Lake Town Township.
Tom Bird at large.
Jason Latham with the Macc.
Nathan Bach, City of Holland.
Jacob Bonema with Ottawa County Commission.
Ryan Novotny, Max Transit. Russ Slaw with Allen Charter Township.
Heather Bowden with MDOT Statewide Planning.
Blake Ray, MDOT Great Western Planning.
Craig Mandy, Allegheny County Commission.
Jim Story at Black.
Alex Miller with the Mac.
Shannon Briggs with MAC.
Eric Dexter with the Mac.
And we have a quorum? I think we do.
I think we do.
We do. All right. Let's rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item is approval of the minutes. Have any changes, or otherwise I'd be looking for a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting.
I had one change. I think there's an email circling around from Tyler, but I think, yeah, the last page under adjournment, it says Tyler made a motion to adjourn, and he wasn't a voting member at the time, so, or still isn't, so I think it was Luke who made that motion.
Sure, I believe it.
Yeah. I think we corrected it, so we're
Cool,
good
thanks.
there.
Or else you didn't adjourn.
Yeah.
You're still the meeting.
Still rolling.
Any other changes? All right. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion approved. Support.
Moved by Spoolhoff. All right. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. All right. Any amendments to the agenda? Being none, ask for a motion then to approve the agenda.
I'll make the motion.
Support.
Moved by Bodema, support by Novotny. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Public comment. Anyone here who would like to address the MAC? If so, this is your, yes,
Okay.
Go right ahead.
Don't even get to eat.
We keep things moving.
I'm going to stand up.
Yes, please.
Talk louder standing up. Anyway, I've met some of you. I'm John Helmrich. I've been on the Saugatuck Township Board since 2018. We're the township, we actually border Lake Town. We wrap around the cities of Saugatuck and Douglas. We're about 3,600 people, gained like 20% in the last census. So we're big. And I'm here because since Stephen joined the Lake Town Board, we've gotten very close, and we've been trying to do things more collaboratively in our entire region. We had a meeting, Jason's been to our office, he's met with our supervisor and manager and me and Steve. And so we've been talking about this for quite a while. We're trying to learn more about exactly what all MAC does and why it might make sense at some point for Saugatuck Township to join. We've been very aggressive in the last few years, more than ever, in acquiring grants. We're up for potentially another Natural Resources Trust Fund grant to help us acquire a very large parcel that's been residential, but it's right on the Kalamazoo River, because we've very much been improving our parks plan. 3 years ago, we had a millage on the ballot, and it passed the first time with over 60% of our residents. So our Parks Commission has been very energized. You might be familiar with the dog park, which is it's close to Lake Town. And we just upgraded a park that's right on Lake Michigan, on Lakeshore Drive. It's a small park, but we're committed to doing more and more of that. We're also, When I got elected, I was part of a group that, it was a recall effort, and 4 of us won. And then the one that wasn't in the recall ended up resigning. So we've been a very cohesive unit now since 2018, and we've all been reelected, I think, 2 or maybe even 3 times. But we're so committed to regional collaboration, and there's always more room for that. Just another grant we just received is, I forget who it's from, you might know, but it's the State Safe Street Study.
Yep.
Because, our main economic corridor is Blue Star Highway, which for years has been kind of more like just a road through a rural area. There's there's a collision shop, and there's a couple, it's more industrial, but it's changed a lot in just the last few years in terms of new restaurants. We have a very significant development coming in on Blue Star Highway that will be, it was going to be an auto camp. You might be familiar with them. They're kind of all over the country. It's no longer auto camp, but it'll be 100 or so modular cottages, which will bring a lot of people into our community area, because we're quite a resort and recreational town. Let's see, what else should I say?
Blue Star Trail.
Oh yeah, back on Blue Star. We've been Saugatuck Township was the first of our 3 communities almost 15 years ago to vote in support, and actually started building the Blue Star Trail through the township. We've just created done a tri-community agreement to extend the Blue Star Trail down south. Saugatuck Township runs down to M89. You might know the Whatnot on the corner there. And so that's moving forward. We're trying to do more connecting up to Lake Town, the northern end of Allegan County. And let's see, you have any questions for me?
The Blue Star Trail is supposed to go all the way to South Haven.
Yep, I know.
South, right?
Yep. I remember I wasn't even in office when they first founded the Blue Star Trail, the Friends of the Blue Star Trail, which they were friends, but there was no trail. And I helped them with the previous regime in Saugatuck Township get that initial approval that got the thing going. So we support that, we support those kind of things.
Yeah, and I worked with the Friends of the Trail back when I was an MDOT employee at the MDOT Southwest Region office. So certainly have a good relationship with the folks in and around the area. And the one thing I'll add to that is I really enjoyed meeting with the township and talking to them, and brought that conversation back to this group a few months back, and have been working with MDOT with regards to our long-range transportation plan and making sure we have some of the counts. We always do some counts in Overijssel Township because that helps our model. And I just met with MDOT last Monday and brought it up again, that we should be looking at Saugatuck as well. So our modeling staff in MDOT actually does the model for us. They're looking at making sure they can incorporate that, and it's just going to make our model that much better. And if and when you do become a member, if that does happen, we kind of have information, and we've started behind the scenes stuff just to make sure that our regional collaboration, our regional model is in a good place for that. So
Great.
Those conversations continue, and regional collaboration is key for a lot of the stuff that we do.
And speaking of roads, I'd just like to point out, because we're very proud of this, on Blue Star Highway, if you've been down to Saugatuck in the last, I guess it's been 3 years, we put in a roundabout at one of the most difficult intersections. Not everyone loves it, but most people do, and we're considering a second one, because we have another intersection also on Blue Star, right near where the dune rides are. 5 streets intersect there, and it's a mess in the summer.
Yep.
And it's going to get tougher. I mentioned the Saugatuck Retreat, that's the recreational place I mentioned, but we also have a housing development of 30 homes that will be right at that intersection. It's in a big parcel right behind my house. But I mean, the point is, we're growing. Douglas is adding a lot of housing. So there's capacity issues with sewer and water. I'm now on our tri-community sewer and water committee overseeing the Kalamazoo Lake Sewer and Water Authority handles municipal, but we're trying to get them more independent and actually be a full authority. So, as again, regional and local cooperation is at the core here, and managing growth. So I'm happy to be here.
Thanks for coming.
Great. Thank you.
I'm hoping one day we're a member of Macc.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Great, thank you. Anyone else who would like to address the Macc? Seeing none, I will close the public comment period. All right, on to the transportation program. Jason?
All right, and this should be a fairly quick meeting. Thanks, everybody, for coming. First up is the TIP amendment, which we generally have one of those every meeting, and that's you, Alec.
Well, first I want to start by saying that at the previous meeting at Holland Charter Township, I mentioned playing basketball on the court. I waited there after the meeting, and nobody wanted to play me. Well, we have another hoop, so I can wait again if anybody else wants to play. But okay, you'll beat me in pickleball for that. But so we have 3 amendments here. The first one, 224863, this is a max transit job. So as part of grant management activities related to the closeout of several 5310 grants, this job is being abandoned and replaced by another job under the appropriate grants. Just kind of moving stuff around for that. Heather, do you have anything to?
No, I mean, it's kind of a typical thing that happens when Ryan will submit his trans grant, just to make sure everything is appropriately programmed for him and FTA, and everything is lining up in JobNet. So.
Okay, good. So the next one, 226407, we've had quite a few of these recently. This is just an MDOT region-wide bridge inspection job, so it's happening everywhere in there, everywhere in the Grand region for that. And then 224863, this is an Allegan County Road Commission job. It's a new RTF job, so it really has nothing to do with the MAC, but it just barely touches the MAC border, so we have to approve it. So not a lot of hot topic issues for this one. 3 pretty boring and safe jobs. So.
Well, I wanted to touch on the region-wide bridge inspection job. So there's been a lot of collaboration within MDOT trying to pull together a lot of funding to hire out consultants all throughout the entire state to help all of the local agencies stay compliant with their bridge inspections, because if they do not, then all of our bridge funding is at risk. So when all of this came about, and we were contacted saying, local agencies, you guys got to get your bridge inspections, completed quickly. The decision was made to have MDOT sort of run this program in which, consultants will be hired on behalf of all of these local agencies to go out and inspect bridges. And I'm not sure who was picked for this region, but it seems like it's lining up like that. Most of the folks that the consultants are working with in the local agency areas are kind of lining up. So hopefully you guys got a good consultant.
They're all good.
Just have a real dumb question. Is the Ottawa County Road Commission the point person for that type of coordination?
For Ottawa County bridges, yes. And I will jump in real quick. I did talk to Denise Donahue. She's the director for the County Road Association to kind of get their feedback, and certainly I called MDOT as well, because it's a big deal to make sure that all of these bridges, they have to be inspected every 2 years. And there's maybe some of the more rural counties might have been a little bit behind, and then there's actually aspects of the bridge inspection that talk about weight restrictions potentially, and some of those weren't being done to Federal Highway's liking. And I don't know if that was just oversight, like they just maybe missed doing that. not really sure, but those discussions were very robust, because I think this overall effort, I don't know the number, but it's tens of millions of dollars to do all the bridges in the state. And to make sure that there's consistency and make sure that Michigan doesn't lose hundreds of millions of dollars in bridge funding, MDOT stepped in and said, well, we can coordinate with locals, we'll make sure that there's local consultants that can do the inspections, and we'll make sure that it gets done appropriately. So I think County Road Association was okay with it, MDOT certainly was okay with it, making sure they're coordinating all of this, and I think it's going to be 2 to 3 years to get it all done, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it's, everybody's on the same page to make sure it happens.
So for going into my 8th year of being on the township board, I have never heard a mention of bridge inspection on our agenda. So I
Right.
assume,
It's a road commission. For you, it would be a road commission. And like for Berrien County, I ran Berrien County Road Commission. We have 103 bridges. I knew that system very well. I knew every bridge that was in critical condition or in poor condition, and had a strategy to handle it. But there's some, like I said, rural counties that, well, it's been a few years, we didn't quite get to it. We ran out there real quick, but it's a very regimented inspection process. And to keep us in Federal Highway's good graces, that's why MDOT jumped in to make sure, let's get it done, let's get all of these done correctly, make sure it checks every single box, and then we hand it back to the bridge owners. So cities,
A list of the bridges and what conditions that they're in, based on our inspections.
yeah. No, a good question.
We don't have any bridges.
Yeah. Yeah, townships generally don't own bridges, which is nice. All right, so I'm
So could you
Yep.
just tell me where on Blue Star Highway 224863 is? Do you know?
It's not exact on the cross street of it because it's just it's on the border part of where it comes into the Macc. It's just, I didn't really pay close attention to it because it's not our money. I'm not 100% sure. I see
I can look at
Heather
the
is
job map.
frantically typing.
If you want to take responsibility for it, you can.
I'm going to vote yes on it.
Yeah, I'm sure they'd love it.
So I just wondered.
Speaking of voting, I move that we approve the presented TIP amendments.
All right, got a motion and a second. Any further comments? All right, hearing none. All in favor, respond by saying aye.
Aye.
And then opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries. Thank you. Thank you. All right, then we're going to jump into MDOT comments. And after you guys comment, I'm going to bring up one little issue that's floating around with the roundabout job in Port Sheldon. But I'm going to let you guys go first.
I'm all set from the American side, so I don't know if you have anything. I'm sorry. I know it's
All right.
been quiet.
I just have a couple of things. So statewide, we are putting together the MDOT State Long Range Transportation Plan. It'll be Michigan Mobility 2050. So our planning horizon will jump up to the 2050 year mark. We are currently hosting 2 upcoming webinars, March 26th and 27th. Oh yeah, that's coming up soon. I think you guys might have gotten an MTPA email, so if you guys could forward that along to everyone here. We just welcome all the local agencies to participate, and if they'd like to attend the webinar, we would greatly appreciate that. But as the process will develop, this is our official public comment period for the plan, and then, the pre-public comment period, and then once the plan is compiled and put all together, we'll also take that out for everyone's review. So would greatly appreciate it if everyone could review that when the time comes and provide comment. Next thing I kind of wanted to bring to everybody's attention, if there's anyone here that is participating in the FY27 federal aid buyout program, please either come and see me and I can forward you the information if you did not get it through the listservs. But just are asking everyone, if you have that project within that program awarded, to look at our final listing, make sure it lines up with everything that you know of the project. Make sure we did not make a mistake. And we've got everything programmed correctly into JobNet for you. And then if you did have some TEDF direct distribution grant funding within that project, that will need to reach out to you, or you can reach out to us to talk about how you're going to move that match forward, if at all. So very important. We've got to get that buttoned up within the next few weeks. So if anybody has a job here, come and see me and we can start working on the details of that.
Very good.
Okay.
All right, well, then I'm going to jump in with the Port Sheldon project. This just came up last week, and it's an Ottawa County Road Commission project for the roundabout. It got pulled from last week's local letting because there's the small urban funding that we approved be part of that project. Federal Highway dove in and said, you know what, you guys are a small MPO, and that roundabout is outside of the ACUB, and that's our urban boundary. If you guys ever remember looking at our map, we have an urban boundary core, and then our planning area boundary includes all the full township borders. So it's in that area that's outside the urban boundary, but still within our boundary. And the long story short is for transportation management areas, those are the TMAs, so that's the big MPOs, so Grand Rapids would be one of those. Over 200,000. Those areas are allowed to use small urban anywhere within the planning boundary. But if you really dive into the Federal Register and you actually read the fine print in the law, small MPOs, which we are one, you're not allowed to use small urban money outside of the ACUB. Now, this is something that Federal Highway and MDOT, as far as I know, agreed that you can use any of this federal aid money as long as it's within the the planning boundary. But somebody at the feds read the fine print and said, even though this is the way we've done it for the last 30 years, even though we approved projects this year that didn't meet that, now we can't. We need to figure out how to change that, or maybe we'll give you one more pass, and then we're going to, fix it later. I know there should be a meeting today, tomorrow, or Wednesday. I was on the phone a good bit of Friday, just trying to drill down into what's going on. And I know I talked to Brett. Brett really wants this project he wanted it to get last week, but it's going to get pushed into next month's letting. And MDOT's really been supporting us and trying to get Federal Highway to approve it as is. And if the feds don't, and they have a hard, firm line, MDOT's looking at potentially trying to swap that funding out and give us different federal dollars that will work. So, like I said, MDOT's really working with us to make this project go forward and keep us whole. So there'll be more to come on that. These are the details where, thankfully, we have Luke supporting us. We have Alec on my team diving in and making sure that this, when we do these TIP amendments, this is a federal accounting requirement, and we have to make sure that we do it right. We have to make sure that we meet the letter of the law, because we don't want to get a letter 2 or 3 years from now saying, oh, by the way, you owe the feds $1 million because you didn't do this right. So we're on top of it. There'll be more to come. And Frank, I don't even know if you heard about it or not. I probably should have, because like I said, it just happened last week, and we're going to fix it. But that's where we are right now. It's just a little accounting hiccup, and we're going to get through it.
And we had that call at 11 o'clock today. And so we are working with them. We're putting together, well, we have pled our case with several bullet points. And then we in our discussions, we're going to provide some more information. They are going to take it up to their upper management within our division office to kind of come up with a consensus on how to move forward. But this is not just happening to this small MPO. It is going to be happening to everyone. So we will keep everybody updated as soon as we learn more.
Great. Well, thank you.
Question. Can we simply move the roundabout south down to Riley Street or someplace?
That's a lot of new design work you're going to have to do.
Yeah, I'm anticipating a potential for a tip amendment, and I know Brett really wants to get this thing let as soon as he can. So most likely it'll be next month, unfortunately, where we'll have the meeting, but
So, Jason, so this is because of the type of work it is?
It's the type of funding. So there's actually
Type of
3
funding
funding
for
categories in that one job, and it's the small urban piece, and it's part of that, I don't want to say shell game, but you have to figure out how to get the projects funded. And when we went through our TIP process just over a year ago, we allocated all the funding sources, and this particular job, we had to put 3 funding sources into it. It had CRP, yep, exactly, and then STP, I think. Yeah, so it had those 3, and that's where Alec kind of pulls his hair out and programs it and gets it just right. We got all the approvals, but then, like I said, I think there's somebody new at Federal Highway and just said, hey, did you guys read the fine print? Because you're not allowed to do that here.
Some young new person that follows the letter.
This is how we've always done it, and we all agreed that this is the way we do it. And they said, well, even though you agreed to it, the law doesn't allow it. So we're trying to hopefully have them approve it as is and then just make the changes moving forward, which would make sense, but we'll see.
So this is the second time Jason's explained this to me, and I still don't understand.
Yeah, that was our discussion Friday. You're like, what are you doing today? And you're like, you don't want to know.
But I did.
Yeah, you did. It was good. It's all good. All right, so now we're going to jump to, if anybody got any questions, any other questions? We'll jump to the administrative update. On the finance side, we'll just do one more quick update. I did talk to Chris, and Chris will be retiring at the end of the year. And we have a plan in place to get a new accounting firm on board. So over the next 6 months or so, we'll be doing that transition. And I'm looking forward to it, just having somebody local here that can probably come to meetings too, just to give maybe a deeper dive. But I think there's some things that we can do here locally when we really dive into the details on the accounting side to maybe even get more efficient and potentially hopefully bring in some more revenue too. But that's on its way. But for now, we're right where we need to be in terms of halfway through the fiscal year. So if there's any questions, I can take questions on the accounting side, but things are looking good.
No, just a compliment. I know you saw this somewhat coming.
Yep.
You know, and you've been working towards this transition for a while.
Yeah.
So that it's an incremental change.
Yep.
Yeah. And,
Yeah, the exec committee gets to hear some of my, behind the scenes, I don't know if it's venting or just support, but yeah, really good conversations, and yeah, thank you for that. It is something that you guys have been talking about. Yeah, you should have a backup, you should have some things in place. So yeah, that was well on its way, so things are looking good. On the exec committee report, item number 1, we did talk about the Drain Commission working on the Macatawa River drain cleanout project. It goes under I-196, and I had a meeting with the Drain Commissioner, with Ottawa County Parks Department, and MDOT drain engineer in Lansing last month, and the Drain Commissioner was basically reporting that cleanout project, he'd like to have basically a 15-foot bench on either side, both sides if you could, but at least one side of the trail, so we could maintain that drain in perpetuity, because generally what ends up happening a lot of times is they don't have the right-of-way, they don't have the ability to maintain or widen an easement. But in this case, under I-196, if there's room, they're going to add that bench, so it's a lot easier to get under there and clean it out. And thinking not too long ago, they just had to pull a large tree out right in that location that was causing some scour and some issues. So it meets, having that bench would hopefully improve flood flows, hopefully improve potential scour and sedimentation. And then ultimately, what the county parks is really excited about, if that bench is there, then asking for permission to eventually have a trail underneath 196. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there, but in the meantime, we're supporting, the Macc is with $5,000 from our environmental fund to do that analysis to make sure that it does meet the flood flow characteristics and other things that Joe needs as the drain commissioner, that MDOT needs as the owner of the structure. So moving forward with that quick analysis. But we're really hoping that can happen. That's a nice intergovernmental relationship, kind of a regional thing, because that would tie into the Greenway project that ODC and the Parks Department's really excited about. Next up, well, I did just talk about Chris's retirement. And the last thing was the intersection analysis. Eric's been working really hard on that intersection analysis. And we had a really good conversation after last month's meeting. We met with the kind of the safety team, MDOT, the traffic safety engineers, and we also had a conversation at our technical advisory committee meeting as well. We want to make sure that we have really good data. We did our Safe Streets for All project. We know where our high injury intersections are. And then as part of our trail update that we did last year, we included now intersections. And when we included intersections in the trail condition, we wanted intersection crossing conditions as well. We got maybe a little too deep for some of the traffic engineers. Some of the comments were maybe negative in terms of this crossing needs to be improved because the paint is so faded you can't see it. It doesn't have countdown peds. There's all these things that could be improved at this intersection. So we're wordsmithing it, that those corrections were made and sent out to the safety committee. And now we're incorporating those comments right now. Hopefully we'll have that done by the end of this week, and I'll present that to exec committee at the next exec committee meeting. And then it'll go to the TAC, and then next month here for final approval. But again, really good comments. I know a few of the townships are looking forward to potentially taking this data and then supporting intersection improvements through better crossing, updating painting, maybe stop bars, and potentially even including some countdown pedestrian signals. But we feel like this is really good data to then help us improve the safety of the network. So excited about that next step. Any questions with that? Thank you, Eric, for that.
We're trying to, I guess at the end of the day, we went pretty qualitative, not for all of it, but we were leaning more on the qualitative side, and we heard loud and clear to keep it more quantitative. So, more inventory based.
Yeah, inventory based, exactly.
Not our impression of it.
But it's good data. We're just building that database. All right, next up, member comments. We usually start with the host.
Sure enough. Well, again, welcome. It's good to have you here. I guess we flip-flopped with Olive Township for our normal month. But a couple things. I think this may be the first time you're in the room with the new flooring. We took out the old tile, and underneath that, the old asbestos tile and all of that process. And then we also had the room repainted. And next on the agenda is the kitchen, and some of the tables are a little dated and need some updating. So tables and chairs are on the schedule for that. But it's much easier to clean. Our cleaner's already like, thank you, because the salt was just coming through every seam in the whole floor. So this is, they did a really good job here. Road-related, Van Buren Street, 164th are on the schedule for the Wyoming third transmission pipeline and water main. And we've had quite a few resident feedback, because we don't get any benefit out of it, it's just passing through.
Yeah.
But we get all the nuisance things that go with it. So we had a meeting with Brian Newhoff, City of Wyoming, and the contractors, and we were able to air all that stuff out and talk about some proactive as opposed to reactive. They've been good in responding to our, resident complaints, but, when the residents walk out there and their mailbox is gone, they're like, where's my mailbox? Oh, they're all down on sand, they didn't know about it. So these are the type of things that letting them know ahead of time. And I didn't even know that either, so. But we're getting ahead of that. We're kind of not really looking forward to when Butternut and 164th at that, our main intersection here goes under the dirt, and so we'll see how they work that out. We also had a meeting with Consumers Energy last week, and they did let us know that they are planning on running through 28. At least at this point, they're still getting extensions. That's what they're expecting. So they're still pushing back because it costs them a lot to run that plant. But that's what they've told us at this point, at least semi-officially. And then we had a meeting with them in regards to Wind's Nest Park, which is our big lakeshore park, highly, hugely popular, and we have a parking problem there. There's just no parking space. People are parking on the sides of the road illegally, and there's just a safety concern as well. So the result of that meeting was that they agreed to move forward in one more step, and we have approval to submit some drawings, where then they will draft up an agreement to say a license to utilize this area for parking, which should accommodate 150 cars. It's immediately adjacent to the park. We might look at some crossing signal stuff there, or something to mark that. But trying to get the folks to not use the road as a hangout spot. So that's in the works. And then we also went through our last board meeting, and we had the battery energy storage draft ordinance on the docket. And we had quite a few folks come out. I was able to, just prior to public comment, have an opportunity to say, hey, the reason we're entertaining this is because if we don't have it, the state regulates it, and many were unaware that in 2023 that had changed. So actually, I heard the post that got put online afterwards was a little more complimentary.
Good.
So
save that one.
I get too excited.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll turn the other way. But anyway, then also we approved our Appropriations Act in our last meeting, and there's a significant amount of funding for our bike path system. So we've got one section planned to just do a complete repave, and then there's numerous patches and bridge work that's going to be done. Or we have a lot of wood boardwalk areas, I call them bridges, but yeah. So that's about it, and we're keeping plenty busy.
Great.
For sure. Thanks. Any
Good.
questions?
No, sounds good. We'll go this way.
Okay.
Just building on what Mike said, we're considering doing a moratorium on a couple of these potential solar and battery energy systems, just to give us a little time. My manager and I went to Lansing this past Tuesday for the capital update for the Michigan Township Association. Let's just say I'm not encouraged leaving Lansing. It's a difficult place to understand. But also some of the decisions they have made, we actually are going to send out a note to our residents to appeal to our legislature. There's about 8 bills that are in process right now that are really taking local control away. And we actually passed a resolution opposing all 8 of those items at our last board meeting. And so we sent it to all of, we instructed our team to send it to all the legislatures to say, we just don't agree with what you're doing here. And if you're interested in this, you can sign up. If you haven't been hit up already, hit it up. It is surprising, in some sense, the ignorance that they have about control and what this means. Parking spots, duplexes, lot sizes, splits. You just go on the list, it became more aware as the more I heard about this and more I researched this. Some of these folks, I don't believe, have been in local government. And so they're in a position of power, and they think that they're doing something positive, but one size just doesn't fit all. It just doesn't fit all. And so, I see some of my colleagues shaking their head already, but if you haven't opposed it, please tell your boards, please tell your residents to do it. If you asked me 10 years ago if I get fired up about some of these things, I would say, no way. I'm fired up about some of these things right now. This is just not, it's just not right. And but the funding thing, wow. Townships are going to be sucking it up here in the next few years. I mean, there's some really unfunded mandates, and the statutory funding is not going to be restored the way it should be restored. And there's some things in this new potential new budget that should be concerning us. And so the township seems to be taking it on the chin on budget, and it's frustrating. So, and we already saw it in our budget. We got kicked out $80,000 last year, $160,000 this year. We'll never see that again, and it's going to be more and more. It's just this money's just disappearing, disappearing. I mean, so, hats off to roads. Everyone says fix the roads, but then there's no recourse to hold us harmless as townships. And so the money goes to different areas. The bucket that goes to us local guys doesn't get ever refilled. So pretty frustrating. Anyways, you can probably sense my frustration.
Are you frustrated?
Yeah, a little. Just a little bit. A little bit. So my township manager is 3 weeks on the job, and it's been a delight to work with the township manager. Steve, you went through that transition last year or last fall. I'm going through it now, and it's been a delight, so can't be more pleased. If you haven't had a chance to meet Matthew Butts, he's wonderful, and he has a very collaborative outlook on life, and so I'm introducing him to everybody, and I just look forward to having him tackle some of the longer issues that our township has, because I can see him, and we've had discussions, he's a 10, 15-year guy, and we're saying we can talk about some of these longer projects. I mean, I see Nathan nodding his head, go like, when you have a guy like Keith, and you start talking about long-term projects, it's council or board independent.
Yep.
And you can start talking about some of these long projects when you have a good leader in the seat. So pretty excited about our new leader. So, Don, you are.
I'm not a member. I've already spoken.
So Lake Township, we passed the budget 2 years in a row. Good time. It was extremely difficult to actually get a quorum at the budget meeting. So we had to reschedule it because we failed to have a quorum at the budget meeting. So we were successful in rescheduling it, and I actually had myself and 2 other board members show up to vote. So that's a challenge. It looks like we are going to go forward with replacing the stairs to Lake Town Beach this spring. I don't know how many of you all have problems with road projects, but we have our local roads, so counties pay for county primaries. We don't own any of the roads, but we pay for local roads. So we had a 30-year road plan that envisioned at the end of 30 years, every single road in Lake Town Township would be paved. We're down to 4 dead-end dirt roads. And the first one up on the schedule was 61st Street between Graskip Road, 60th and 62nd. And it's a 1/3 mile road that has 1 house on it. It ends at something called the Holland Horse Park, which is a 501c3 not-for-profit that runs horse shows. So they haven't paid property taxes in a long time. So the proposal was we had to consider whether to pave this road or not. So the board in its wisdom, after that one homeowner showed up and screamed at them, it's actually 3-1 to pave the road this year. I'm very proud. I voted on this 6 times now, and I voted no every time. So shortly thereafter, another homeowner or another property owner who's adjacent to it but doesn't use that road came and said, I don't want that road paved. So the board in its wisdom voted to pause it and defer the project for a year. So we put in our order with the road commission, and a month later we said, nope, we want to postpone it. The next month, for 2 meetings in a row. The homeowner who lives on that wants a $450,000 driveway paid for by the township came and yelled at him again. So the board in its wisdom voted 3-1 to pave the road. So we went back to Allegheny County Road Commission, and they said, "Are you sure?" And I said, "I don't want to pave the road," but I got outvoted again. So the other homeowner, the one who doesn't want it paved, showed up at our last meeting in March and showed up with more people who all said, "Why are you guys in your right mind to pay $450,000 to pave a guy's driveway?" And so we voted again to pause it and request that the road commission postpone the project if possible. So I went to apologize to the road commission last Wednesday at their regular meeting. They said, "What do you want us to do?" And I said, "I can't tell you what to do, but this is what's happened, and you have the minutes of the board meeting." They just said, "Screw you, we're canceling it." And they pulled the bid package, and we're not going to go out this year and do it. But people, when they vote, need to be voting what they think is the right thing to. They need to really focus on, is this the right thing to do or not? And then you've got to have the courage to stick with your convictions. If we were paving that road, big whoop, I lost a vote. It's when you take the same vote over again and over again, and I'm sure we're going to revisit it again this month. That's a board that's not functioning very well, and it's probably the supervisor's fault. But anyway, there is a Drain Commission meeting for Allegheny County Drain Commission about the Kelly Drain, which goes into Park Township. That's on Wednesday morning. And I'm spending a lot of time, we're trying to put a new drain together called the Myrtle Drain, which will again flow into like the Inner County Drain that flows into Park Township, and the Kelly Drain that flows into Park Township. This new Myrtle Drain will flow into Park Township. And we're having some trouble getting property owners to give us easements for access to their property, in part because they dug some ponds without some permits. And they're worried about getting upside down if we get an easement for those drain fields. So that's what I'm working on. Plus, we're going to have another vote on the Interurban Transit Authority funding for putting on a road on a millage at our April regular meeting. That's another one we voted, I think, 4 times to fund it and 4 times not to fund it. So let's make the voters decide. That's what's going on in Lake Town.
I have nothing to report.
We love you, Tom.
I'm not as frustrated as Steve or Steve. I think I'm going to be a ray of sunshine down here. We closed the ice park on March 15. We had over 33,000 people skate. The population of Holland is 34,000, so I'm interested in getting that extra 1,000 people on the ice next year. We had over 2,000 groups use the ice sheet, and we sold 8,000 cups of hot chocolate. It is not going to be closed for the next 8 months. They've already got a contract with Velocity Cycles that they're going to be doing bicycle classes with little tiny kids, and the barn that we store the Zamboni in the winter is going to be turned into a bicycle library. So kids who don't have access to bicycles are going to be able to check out bikes from there. They're planning on putting like traffic signals around the ice ribbon, so you'll be able to see little tiny kids out there learning how to ride bikes on that to practice their skills. They're going to be doing yoga classes. They've got music events planned, so that's going to be a real hub of outdoor activity all year round. So we're very excited to see the next phase of the ice park during the rest of the year. And keep your eyes peeled. We got a little festival starting in about 5 weeks that I'll probably have something to say about next month.
Nice.
That's really fun.
Yeah.
I know a lot of adults that could probably use some training
Yeah, we might want to do
on a bicycle as well. At the county, we just finished our strategic planning meeting, and we did a 2-day meeting back-to-back in Zealand at the Howard Miller Library. It was really beneficial. I think a lot of times, and this was brought up during the meeting, when you're at the commission, you know, we sit at these tables that are kind of a half crescent. It's really hard for me to talk into this mic and make eye contact with Jason, right? And read his body language. And yet, you're trying to debate with people and hear what they have to say, and you can't see each other. So getting out of that environment, we decided is something that we want to do more often. Try to get to a place where we can see each other and speak, you know, in a better way to communicate better. So we also said work sessions would be welcome, and we've not done that. And so tomorrow is our first work session, and we're doing it not in the Board of Commissioners room, but in a separate room that we can kind of wrap around a little bit. It's open to the public. You're welcome to come, 5 o'clock. We will be discussing millages. It's millage season, so we're talking about the CMH millage. Really important that we get behind that, support that. That's critical to our community. So we think that it has great support, broad support, so feel good about that one. The Parks millage, I fully support the renewal of the Parks millage. There's a request to increase it. I'd like to see that piece of it go to the voters. You know, I'm big on local control and let the people vote on if they want to raise their taxes or not. So those are kind of the two main topics that we're going through. I also sit on the insurance authority where we handle all the lawsuits, and I think I reported a while back that we had over 21 lawsuits we were managing. It's been a little over a year now, and that number is a third of that. So I think we're seeing things get resolved. We're seeing a steady hand and peace come back in where, you know, we're operating in a good way. So I think our communication is improving. I think that the litigation is lessening, and I think we've got an amazing county to live in and thrive in. So we're trying to focus on that, and I think I'll end with saying, out of the 2-day strategic plan that we, you know, met on, every item that was set as a top priority was inside of our wheelhouse of things that we should be focused on. And that was refreshing for me, because I want to see us get things done that we actually have control over to make happen. So that was a positive. So I think we're you know, full steam ahead, doing a good job, and excited for that. But yeah, feel free to come. Board of Commissioners meetings at Fillmore tomorrow night, and from 5 till whenever we are done.
Excuse me. Just a couple things. Max is shifting gears into spring mode. We're already having talks about the little festival coming up, because that's a real pain for us, trying to get buses in and around everything, and yeah, it's difficult. So lots of planning goes into that. We're excited the snow's gone. We've got a few infrastructure projects for propane and electric vehicles. Those got put on pause as soon as the snow hit, so we'll get going on those. Hopefully have them installed here in another month or two. And we also have a village coming up in May, so hopefully that goes good. We have a pretty good response from the public. 80% has been the last couple of months, so we're positive this one will go through too, but it's always nerve-wracking. You never know. So that's it.
All right. I know the meeting was at our place at the community center last month, and I was heading to Florida, so I had a miss, but I hope you all enjoyed that. If you hadn't been there, that you got a chance to see that. With the parks, they're going to be an open house at Hawthorne Pond. Macc Greenway is extended through our park and connected now with the Greenway. We put up restrooms there and a larger parking lot, and so there'll be a little ribbon cutting event. I think it's not till June sometime, but I'll put out a reminder now if you like parks. It's a fun event to go to. And then talking about manager positions, I know Steve, I think, announced last time because he was here that he's retiring early. So we are in the process of collecting resumes, and if anybody has a really good manager they want to refer to us, definitely take a resume. Steal somebody from you. But but Steve was gracious and gave us amount of time, so by the 1st of June, hopefully we are in place to have a new person on board and get that transition going. But that's all I got.
All set?
Good. Had the unexpected pleasure of being at Saugatuck Township last Friday, and certainly have over the years, kind of beneath the waves, encouraged Saugatuck to become part of this great group, just because of the regional perspective that it brings. I think Saugatuck Douglas has a worldwide reputation, attracts worldwide visitors, like a lot of the other jurisdictions we represent at the table. And I think it would complete the picture of the map if it's legal for them through the MDOT and federal authorities for them to join us. And I told them that if that is a choice they choose to make, the township and the map, I would be wholeheartedly in favor of it.
In Ottawa County, we had over 13,500 hours of overtime this past winter, which is probably the highest we've ever had. So unlike Steve over there, I'm sure that there are no townships in Ottawa County that are not happy with their road commission. So I'll leave it at that. That's it.
All right, well, thank you. Let's see, next meeting is the 27th, and that'll be Olive. We're obviously flipping with them. And I think that's,
Update on that job. It's a .27 mile length job just west of I-196. And then it doesn't even hit the next intersection of, is that 63rd? I can't, or no, Barn Street? I can't read that.
So if it's west of exit 41, or if you going through Lake Township?
Well, no, the project limits is just west of 196, like starting around the loop area, and then heading northeast just prior to the next intersection.
So Saugatuck's getting paved. Good for them.
yeah, good. Good. All right, thanks for that, appreciate it. All right, so looking for a motion to adjourn. Not from Tyler, he's not even here.
I move we adjourn.
All right, we got a motion, second, all in favor? Aye. Good, thank you.